The live action Mario movies are way better than they have any right to be. I say that, but definitely the first film's the weakest link. Now, Mario does look really good in these films, and Ben Schwartz, he doesn't do the Italian accent, but I think it fits well for him. But of course, you can't talk about this movie without talking about the original ugly design. When the original trailer dropped showing off this gross, hyper realistic Mario design, people went ballistic. And for once, the big studio actually listened to fan feedback instead of ignoring it and then wondering why the film bombed. So they went back and made a way better design. And of course, people are really dumb about it and say the ugly design was actually just a big marketing stunt. But anyone with half a brain would realize the film was delayed an entire year because of it, and early merchandise did show the ugly design. Plus, there was a scene in the film when Mario got a bomb stuck to his glove, but he didn't have a glove with the ugly design, so he couldn't just take it off. But don't worry, fans of this ugly design, for some reason in the Chip and Dale movie, they brought him back as a main character. In a movie that proves that copyright infringement just does not apply to big studios. James Marsden as Kevin Keane is alright in this film. He's really not a bad actor, but he really needs to stop being in these kind of movies. Because honestly, this movie is just Hop, with a less annoying hairy sidekick. Like, the film begins with a nice recreation of Mario's world, and he's getting taken care of by Yoshi. Yoshi opens up a warp pipe. And then for some reason, it becomes one of those movies that's a reverse isekai where the familiar character gets sent to boring modern day America that no one really likes, but it's either this or no movie, and you get upset because the movie actually focuses on normal people rather than the characters you actually came to see, and you just beg for them to have less screen time so you can see more characters. The warp pipe also brings some magical fungus from Mario's world. And who comes to study it rolling up in a GoBot is Bowser, who looks nothing like Bowser. It's just like the live action 90s Sonic movie where Dennis Hopper as Robotnik was just a guy. They might have gotten Bowser's design offensively wrong, but it's definitely elevated by the performance of Jim Carrey, who literally can never do wrong. And one of the military guys, Koopa Troopa Stone, might just also be a guy, but him and Jim Carrey have excellent chemistry and they're so funny together. Too bad that Bowser only actually looks like him in the post-credits when he eats the fungus and mutates into what his game design actually looks like, and they also gave that away in the trailer. Right next to the Luigi post-credits. It might be one of those generic James Marsden movies, but it's honestly not terrible, and it's definitely elevated by the great performances, and Mario and Kevin are very cute, found family. Mario 2 is way better than the first film. Luigi's looking for Mario, and he's actually played by his video game voice actor, which I love and wish more movies did stuff like that. Too bad Luigi also doesn't really do much in this film. Because the plot really revolves around Mario. He's crime fighting, and Kevin, who thankfully has way less screen time, also teaches him with great power comes great responsibility. Stone's working at the Toadstool Cafe, and he helps rescue Bowser. And Bowser teams up with Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong thinks that Sonic can lead the way to find the Crystal Coconut, just for it to be revealed that Bowser wants the Crystal Coconut for evil purposes. Honestly, Idris Elba as Donkey Kong is excellent. He's the perfect level for the character of being stoic and strong, but also being incredibly naive. The movie is kind of best in the beginning and in the end. In the middle section, we get Mario and Luigi dancing to Uptown Funk It Up, the entire song. And then there's this whole wedding scene that just feels like out of a completely different movie. But eventually Bowser reveals Mecha Bowser, powered by the Crystal Coconut, and Mario uses the Crystal Coconut to achieve the invincible Shining form. Despite Bowser falling into an explosion, they left it kind of open if he survived that because Jim Carrey is famous for being very anti-sequel. But apparently he's very loyal to this franchise, with Mario 3 definitely being the best of them so far, and kind of the film that everyone wanted originally. Kevin has very little screen time, and honestly, this is kind of the best he's ever been going into spy and dad form. And we finally get Wario in these movies. Keanu Reeves' voice kind of fits, even if it is just kind of Keanu Reeves. It was pretty funny when everyone thought he was going to be played by Hayden Christensen. After some shenanigans at the Luma Cafe, the heroes have to team up with Stone and Bowser to deal with Wario until it turns out that Bowser's grandpa, King K. Rool, is alive. He's very different from the games. Instead of being posthumous and creating the space station to try and save people, ultimately being betrayed. But they still adapt Wario and Mona's character incredibly toned down, where it was by a laser gun, and it was also an accident, and instead of hitting her, it hit some barrels that caused a big explosion that killed her. It is still pretty sad because Mona, but it's not as heart wrenching as the game that's old as I am, where Mona was directly shot very soullessly by a real gun. They didn't even do the Mario X thing where the guy who shot her lived to regret it. And the still alive K. Rool turns out to be the mastermind behind all this evil planning. It's different, but Jim Carrey, once again, is so good in the role you don't really mind. I mean, come on, how can you not love the scene when K. Rool and Bowser are breaking into a building and dancing in a laser room to Don't Hold Back? And Stone's basically in this love triangle between Bowser and K. Rool. And of course, K. Rool wants to use the space station to destroy both Earth and the Mushroom Kingdom. So Mario and Wario use the Power Star and go invincible together, and the song starts playing, and it's like, yeah, for like 5 seconds. K. Rool gets disintegrated, and Bowser stays behind, sacrificing himself to make sure that the Mushroom Kingdom and Earth survives. And of course, fake out Wario is still alive. Then post credits, like, whoa, there's an army of Robo Marios, and they get taken down by Princess Peach, who's finally in these movies. So we got the full Mario Heroes team. We're still waiting on Toadette, and how was Candy not in this movie? Oh, and I guess also Gourmand Guy. Now, I don't know how exactly they're gonna bring Bowser back. Honestly, I really don't want him to be brought back in the fourth film because he had his emotional climax. I guess the big fan theory is Stone's gonna be the main villain, and he's gonna actually, because his name's Stone, gonna become a Dry Bones, or he's gonna essentially become Wart, eating the fungus. Or maybe they'll do a Mario Prime thing and they have the different dimension council Bowser. Or, it's been 20 years. A lot of fans have looked fondly back on Mario 6, so they could bring fan favorite characters of Rosalina and Gino. But let me know your comments and opinions down below, as well as hitting that like button and the subscribe button.